What is going on, everybody? Been a diehard Pistons fan since '03 and eager to see this team getting back to playing winning basketball. In today's video, we have an announcement that the Pistons have used their last remaining roster spot of 15 to sign Lamar Stevens. In this video, we will talk about Lamar Stevens as a player, explain how he fits in as a role player for the Pistons, talk about if we think we'll get some minutes, and just kind of give you guys an overview on who he is as a player and get you all familiarized with him as he is joining the Detroit Pistons. So to kind of give an overview of who Lamar Stevens is at the highest level, he is 27 years old currently. He's been in the NBA since 2020. This will be his fifth year in the league. He was an undrafted player coming out of Penn State, where he then went to play for Cleveland for 3 seasons. The biggest takeaway there is I believe all 3 of those seasons, the better half of them at the least, were under JB Bickerstaff. So that is probably a good sign that JB Bickerstaff maybe had some bit of input on this, or at least a good word to say about him to bring him over. After his 3 seasons in Cleveland, last year he started the year off with Boston before he was sent to Memphis as a part of the Xavier Tillman deal. So during his time in the NBA, he's never been much more than just a middle of the road bench player. His rookie season, he averaged 13 minutes per game with the Cavs, and then 16 minutes per game, and then 18 minutes per game. Last year, a bit more sporadic with the minutes. During his first part of the season with Boston, he was only playing in garbage time. And then after he got moved to Memphis, he did play in 20 games where he averaged 23 minutes per game on that Grizzlies team that was pretty banged up. So to talk about who Lamar Stevens is as a player, first kind of give an overview of what his stats look like. So per 36 minutes for his career, he averages 12.5 points per game to go along with 7 boards, an assist, and a steal. For his career, he has shot 46% from the floor and 28% from 3. So that's just an overview of what he looks like when he actually does get opportunity. But since he hasn't really played all that much heavy minutes in the NBA, I think it's more beneficial to talk about who he actually can be as a player. So reading through some scouting reports and just from the little bit of film that I've watched recently after the signing and off of memory, Lamar Stevens, he's kind of an undersized 4, more of a traditional 4 in the sense that he's 6'6". That's what he's listed at. He's strong, he's burly, he uses his physicality and motor to be able to score the ball. He's not exactly a good shooter at this point in his career, but he will let it fly from 3 given the opportunity. For his career, he averages 1.5 3-point attempts per game, but on low efficiency. Definitely not his strong suit, but if he's left open, he will shoot the ball from that range. So that's kind of what he leans into, is being a physically kind of burly tweener 3-4 who uses his strength to get into the paint, can dunk the ball a lot. A lot of his film highlights and things like that are just him getting putbacks, getting scrappy offensive rebounds, going back up with it over guys bigger than him a lot of times to throw down some dunks. So that's kind of what you can expect from him. To read a couple scouting reports, this one here says plays either forward position at 6'8". I guess that's what he was listed at previously. Possesses a lot of strength, which helps him on both ends of the floor. Averaged nearly 19 points per game over his last 2 seasons at Penn State. Okay, so this is a little bit outdated. Good athleticism and burst. If he gets down low, he can finish thanks to his physical tools, but lacks skills as a ball handler and shooter. Doesn't defend nearly well enough despite size and athleticism. So that's a little bit outdated. Looks like most of these scouting reports that are listed online were probably him coming out of Penn State. This other one says a burly combo forward who does a little bit of everything on the court, has a rock-solid frame and uses it to establish position in the paint, can score with his back to the basket or face up and break his man down off the dribble, rebounds at a high level and is a plus defender, can guard the power forward position thanks to his strong frame, shows good awareness on D and understands proper positioning, doesn't have the quickest feet but can hold his own defending in space, doesn't hit the 3 ball at a high clip. We'll have to add that to his game to excel at a high level. So those scouting reports are of course a bit outdated, but I think it does paint a picture of who Lamar Stevens is as a player, because truthfully from the numbers and the film and all of that, it seems like that's pretty much who he still is during his limited time in minutes that he has received in the NBA so far. So how does he fit in with the Pistons? So of course, this is a very late, right before training camp signing. It is a not a two-way deal. He wouldn't even be eligible for a two-way deal because you have to have less than 3 years in the league. So he'll be a part of the roster. Do I see him getting minutes off the bat? No. I think that it is a little bit strange that this is the direction that we went. Not because I think Lamar Stevens is a bad player, but just because I think that it's pretty obvious that the Pistons are lacking depth for true point guards more than anything, and then also lacking depth from bigs, considering that right now our only point guards on paper are Cade and I guess Marcus Sasser, and our only bigs on paper are Paul Reed and Isaiah Stewart, who are both undersized, just like Lamar Stevens is, but then Jalen Duren. So it was kind of weird to see them go in this direction, but considering that he played for JB Bickerstaff previously, that he does have some experience in the league, I guess they probably just thought that between that and his motor and his intensity, that would be the best way to use that 15th man spot, because realistically, we can't expect him to show up and just be putting out starter minutes and production right off the bat. That's just not how things work. But given the opportunity, I do think that Pistons fans will grow to like him. I'm sure the opportunity will arise at some point due to injuries or who knows what else, unfortunately. Just what happens over an 82-game season. So at some point, we'll definitely get a good look at Lamar Stevens. And I think that Pistons fans will grow to like him just because of the effort, power, strength, and all of those types of things really do fit the identity that the Pistons have always hung their hat on for forever. So I think that he'll be a good fit in that aspect. Overall, don't have super, super high expectations for Lamar Stevens. I think that the 15th man spot is not that consequential, especially for a team like the Pistons. So if the new leadership and coaching staff agreed that this guy is a dude worth having around in the locker room, worth filling out the roster with and having in case of backup, then I'll definitely take their word for it. I'm not at all opposed to this move. I think that given all context, this is a great signing. So definitely excited to see what Lamar Stevens can do with the Pistons. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. We'll catch up soon.